Hi, I'm Fernanda. In this video, I'm going to talk about my experience with the conditioning of an experimental subject, in this case a mouse. We start with a little introduction of this topic. The conditioning of an experimental subject is a fundamental process in a psychological research. It refers to the modification of behavior through the association of stimuli and response. Whether through classical conditioning, where neutral stimuli are associated with automatic responses, or operant conditioning, which involves reinforcing or punishing behaviors to influence their future frequency. This concept is essential to understanding how behaviors are formed and modified in a controlled environment. So, with this introduction, we can start with the conditioning process. In order to condition a mouse, certain steps were followed, which included Pavlov's classical conditioning and Skinner's operant conditioning, as well as the time-out technique. We start with classical conditioning. Proposed by Pavlov, involves associating a neutral stimulus with a stimulus that evokes an automatic response. Over time, the neutral stimulus comes to elicit the same response, known as responsive conditioning. As for operant conditioning, proposed by Skinner, it focuses on the relationship between behavior and its consequence. Behaviors are reinforced or punished to increase or decrease their likelihood of repetition, respectively. Both approaches are fundamental to understand how stimuli and responses are related and how behaviors can be modified in experimental context. The time-out technique is a discipline strategy that involves temporarily removing an individual from a problem environment or situation to interrupt and reduce unwanted behaviors. To begin, I will name the materials I used for this experiment. A cage, which was the home of the mouse. A maze with 3 obstacles. Daily food for the mouse. Pellets, which were prized used as reinforcement in the conditioning process of the mouse. Also, a schedule was set up which consists of working with the mouse 5 days consecutive a week, and twice a week the mouse rested. The mouse worked 1 hour per day. Now, let's go to the conditioning process that lasted 10 weeks. In the first week, the mouse was adapted to the maze, where the mouse recognized the place. The maze was empty without any obstacles, only had a place where the pellets falling. In the second week, walls were implemented that helped to the mouse learn the course to follow. When the mouse made correct turns, it was receiving a pellet as a prize. This exercise was repeated for 2 weeks. In the fourth week, the first and the most difficult obstacle was implemented with its helping walls. That helped the mouse didn't make mistakes while the mouse was passing the obstacle. In the fifth week, the helping walls was removed, and the mouse received pellets each time it passed the obstacle correctly. In the sixth week, the second obstacle was implemented with its helping walls, as well as the third obstacle. In the seventh week, the helping walls of the second obstacle was removed. In this way, at the end of the week, the mouse would have learned 2 obstacles. In the 8th week, the last obstacle was implemented, with its helping walls. In the ninth week, the helping walls of the third obstacle was removed, and the mouse would have learned the three obstacles. So, the mouse had some mistakes, so the mouse practiced 1 week more all the obstacles of the maze. It was given its respective pellets each time it turned it correctly, achieving the final result of the conditional mouse. Now, you will see the final results of the conditional process. In my opinion, that experience was an enjoying and interesting because it was a challenge for me. I used to be feared to the mice, but with this experiment, I managed to lose my fear, and now I can hold it normally and without fear. So that is all about my experience. Thanks for watching my video.